Hi, loves. Thanks for joining me again. My name is Aaliyah. I'm a spiritual coach as well as spiritual astrologer. This video is Michael Jackson and the Art of Manifesting. Before discussing Michael Jackson's understanding of law of attraction, we first have to look at his birth chart. His actual birth time is not verified, but the personal planets are still accurate, and a few of them explain his natural inclination to believe in the power of his own mind. For starters, he was a Virgo sun. Now, Virgo suns are usually perfectionists by nature. The work must be done the best that the native can give. It is not simply doing, it is done with excellence or not at all. They are usually very patient people. They are earth signs after all. Things on the material plane tend to manifest a little slower than they would in the spirit world, and Virgos understand this innately. So they will take the time, even if it is years, to make something they envision a reality. They will take the time to perfect it. Michael Jackson was a known perfectionist, a self-proclaimed one as well. There is something to be gained in this world that each sign specifically gives through their collective expression. And what we can all take from Virgos is their work ethic for things that matter to them. You can dream big, and you should, but you must try for something. It is the only way anything is made in this world. You look at the doorknob, and you have to take the perspective that someone tried for that. Michael understood this naturally as a Virgo, but we can all gain from strengthening our will and confidence and using it to power through the practical steps that living out our dreams requires. Michael was also a Pisces moon. Pisces naturally live in the higher realm of our imaginations, and to have a Pisces moon means Michael processed his emotions and had an emotional nature like a Piscean. This means he likely retreated to his imagination to get through tough times and even when he was happy. It was simply the way he processed his emotions and the lens through which he viewed the world. He likely saw even a tough situation through rose-colored lenses. Because he may have reimagined his negative experiences into a fantasy to process it properly. This would explain how imaginative and creative Michael was. If you have a Pisces moon, you may be more likely to be a creative person by trade, not only by nature. To have a water sign as a moon sign is to be very in tune with your emotions and the emotions of others. Our emotions are the guiding factors to our reality. We think something and then attach an emotion to a particular thought, and therefore begin to feel the thought. That feeling is what creates more of the same of the thought within our actual lives in the 3D. Michael Jackson having a Pisces moon would have made him more inclined to understand this concept. He likely felt very watery emotion-wise, and this up and down could have made him a very sensitive person. This sensitivity makes one intuitive, and the more intuitive you are, the stronger your imagination, because you are always feeling an attachment to most of your thoughts. Therefore, you experience more emotions on a regular basis, perhaps more than the average person without this placement. This rapid increase in emotions makes one manifest quicker. Life can also become more easily chaotic, or it can be reined in by applying wisdom of law of attraction and lasering one's thoughts to the ones you actually wish to manifest. Michael seemed to live out the latter while at his peak, and we will see more on this later when we discuss how Michael manifested. Michael Jackson was a Leo Mercury. Mercury is a planet in the birth chart, represents how one thinks as well as how one expresses that which they think. To have Mercury in Leo means that Michael was very confident when he spoke. And when he processed information, he did so with the hope that whatever information he processed, he could show on a grand scale in the physical so other people would see it. The way this placement would make someone more inclined to believe in law of attraction principles is the strong belief in one's own mind that a Leo Mercury naturally possesses. There is a confidence in one's intellectual capabilities, therefore a trust in one's thoughts, one's imagination, one's mind. Belief is the most powerful part of manifestation. It's kind of the whole point. So to have a Leo Mercury certainly didn't hurt with Michael growing his consciousness to understand law of attraction principles. The last thing in his birth chart I wanted to reference in regards to the way he manifested is his Mars in Taurus. As we know, our Mars sign in our birth chart is how we chase after our goals in life. So, for instance, a Cancer Mars might have more family oriented goals. They may prefer to work from home or work with a family, or not work at all to spend time with their families. Whereas in Michael Jackson's case, he had a Taurus Mars, which would have made him very ambitious. Taurus is an earth sign, and Tauruses value aesthetics and beauty. They care about making it in the material world more than most. They value hard work and the slow, steady process to achievements, and that it's not often working hard for working hard's sake, like a Capricorn Mars may do, for instance. It is with the aim in mind that by working hard, one can afford luxuries, which Tauruses value deeply. Now, how this relates to law of attraction is simple. Michael likely had no issue working hard and tirelessly to achieve a goal in order to continue living comfortably. You've probably seen the video on YouTube of an early 2000s Michael Jackson shopping. He splurges on nearly the entire store, much to the shock of his shopping companion. Most of the purchases were art, however. Luxury and art are very important to a Taurus Mars as they are beauty connoisseurs. So they'd work harder to manifest something in the physical. They'd work harder at a goal because they want the money so badly. To live comfortably, to live a life of luxury, that which they think they deserve. Obviously, law of attraction is all about making it happen in the physical through mental belief. And a Taurus will have a good mental diet in the Mars placement because they will do any work passionately because it is for their dream lifestyle. So although Tauruses are practical by nature, and a Taurus sun, for instance, may not be all into metaphysical knowledge or esoteric principles, in the Mars placement, a Taurus determination and patience will provide such a mental focus to the native that they manifest faster than most. Anger is often used as a tool for manifesting. We can use our anger and channel that energy into doing actual work for our goals. And Michael seemed to understand this. So here are a few quotes that he said himself that represent how using anger can be a tool for manifesting. I was very, very angry. I had to prove myself and change things. Do it. 200 million for the white children, so they'll have black heroes, so they don't grow up prejudiced. All kids. Now, what must I do out of anger on this album to prove myself? My goal is to become so big, so powerful, to become such a hero to end prejudice, to make these little white kids love me by selling over 200 million albums. Make them look up to me. I will change the world. I have changed it. I have found that when I have a deep personal reason of anger, I really come through. Being told we don't put blacks on covers, blacks don't sell. All of this put a fire in me to sell the biggest album of all time. To have whites and blacks of all races love for me to be on the covers. But I did it out of anger to even prove it to myself. So these quotes really reflect the importance of using anger to manifest your goals. Oftentimes we, in the spiritual realm, tend to look at anger as a negative thing. We want to neutralize the emotion, we want to transmute it. But oftentimes, this can be a powerful motivator for someone to go after their dreams. There are plenty of athletes who were told by teachers that they wouldn't be successful because they were not academically inclined. However, they had other talents. And so in their minds, they proved their teachers wrong by excelling in another way. And so anger can be used to manifest. What's also important is seeing and affirming the vision for yourself. And Michael understood this very, very well. Here are a few quotes that reflect this. Now it's the time for my kingship, forever. Now, MJ the king. Hyde, recluse, genius, billionaire, strange, beautiful face, greatest actor, singer, dancer, performer, forever. I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. I'm gorgeous. God is for me. Who can be against me? I'm beautiful. I'm a new person now. Beautiful. Knowing the secrets and determined with fire to move mountains in all I do. Molding my own world. I am beautiful. The old me is behind. I will march ahead anew. I know who I am inside and outside, and I know what I want to do, and I will always go with my dreams. One of my biggest dreams since I was really little, I think around 7 years old, I used to always buy the Guinness World Book of Records. You know what the answer is going to be, right? I said, I love to dance and sing. Hopefully one day I can be in this book. And I believed that it was possible. So when Thriller became the biggest selling album of all time, and it was enlisted in the Guinness Book of World Records, and there are so many other lists, they've enlisted me in there like 7 different times now. It was the happiest time of my life. I was so happy. So what's important to note here is that Michael saw himself achieving what he wanted. It's so important to see the vision of yourself actually doing the things that you dream of. If you simply think to yourself, oh, that would be nice, it's not the same as truly manifesting. You have to hold the vision alive in your mind. You have to affirm it to yourself. You have to affirm the confidence you will need to achieve it. On mastering follow through and perseverance, aka mastering the mind, Michael said, the person who makes the success a living is the one who aims for it unswervingly. That is dedication. There is no other way to perfection than dedicated perseverance. I have learned that it is what you put in your mind mentally and what you think and do that make your person. And you can put any mental object in this mind and it will bring it to reality. So this means we can program ourselves to be the people we ought to be, whatever the subject matter is, live in it by a mental physical program, a system of learning and doing, studying all the greats in the field and becoming greater. He also said, the deeper I go into myself, the stronger I become, because I realize that my real self is much bigger than any fear. I have confidence in my abilities. I have real perseverance. Nothing can stop me when I put my mind to it. I have always been kind of determined. I have always had a vision of things that I wanted to do and goals that I wanted to reach, and nothing could stop me from getting that. I am focused, and I know what I want and what I want to achieve, and I won't get sidetracked. And even though I get down sometimes, I keep running the race of endurance to achieve those goals. It keeps me on track. I am dedicated. When I want to discover something, I begin by reading anything that's ever been done along the lines of those in the past. That's what all these books in the library are for. I see what has been accomplished at great labor and expense in the past. I gather data of many thousands of experiments as a starting point, and then I make thousands more. The 3 great essentials to achieve anything worthwhile are first, hard work, second, stick-to-itiveness, and third, common sense. I want to continue to grow. To me, the biggest sin of all sins is to be given a gift, a talent, because it's actually a gift from God, to take that and not cultivate it and make it grow. That's the biggest sin in the world. Ever since I was a little boy, I had dreamed of creating the biggest selling record of all time. I remember going swimming as a child and making a wish before I jumped into the pool. I wanted to do something special. I'd stretch my arms out as if I were sending my thoughts right up into space. I'd make a wish. Then I'd dive into the water. I'd say to myself, this is my dream, this is my wish, every time before I dive into the water. Making the Thriller album was very hard work, but it's true that you only get out of something what you put into it. I'm a perfectionist. I'll work until I drop, and I worked so hard on that album. I knew what we could do with that record, and the success of Thriller transformed many of my dreams into reality. It did become the biggest selling record of all time. In the end, the most important thing is to be true to yourself and those you love and work hard. Work like there's no tomorrow. Train, strive, really train, and cultivate your talent to the highest degree. Be the best at what you do. Get to know more about your field than anyone alive. Use the tools of your trade, if it's books or a floor to dance or a body of water to swim in. Whatever it is yours. That's what I've always tried to remember. Even if you're sweeping floors or painting ceilings, do it better than anybody in the world, no matter what it is that you do. Be the best at it, and have a respect for others, and be proud of yourself, and to honor. Be honorable. No matter what, the most powerful thing in the world is the human mind and prayer, and belief in yourself and confidence and perseverance. No matter how many times you do it again until it's right, and always believe in yourself. And no matter who's around you that's being negative or thrusting negative energy at you, totally block it off. Because whatever you believe, you become. And after all that, the most important, stay humble. As you can hear, Michael Jackson really took it seriously, the art of studying to become great. He didn't just think of it as, oh, I have a natural gift. He knew that he had to perfect it and that he had to master himself in order to have all of his goals. So it starts first in the mind. And it's so important to understand this when manifesting, that you have to get yourself together first while you're trying to achieve your goals. If you want to open up a business or start a business, it wouldn't hurt to get yourself healthy first. It wouldn't hurt to get into the right state of mind so that you can be the best version of yourself once you are at or living that goal or dream. And it's so important to not take for granted your talents. He said it was the biggest sin of all to do that, to not cultivate and to not continue to learn and to strive, to study the greats, or to study, anything you can imagine that would be in that realm that you wish to excel in. You want to make sure that what you're doing is perfecting something. And even if you choose not to be a perfectionist, it's not your nature, but you still wish to create, it is still important to study and to make sure you understand the history of what you are doing, because that makes you have a perspective of, I deserve my place in this field. I deserve my place in this world. And it'll make you work harder, or work smarter at least, in order to achieve your goal. Michael Jackson seemed to understand this, and it's something that he seemed to take very seriously. And obviously all that he achieved, you can't help but think about it. It's not just using your mind, it's also doing the physical work. And it's not just doing the physical work, but also training your mind. The combination of both is what manifests success. And lastly, I wanted to touch on how Michael Jackson found the imagination to be so important to manifesting. Using your mind and having that vision and having creativity and cultivating it within yourself, it makes for a much more magical existence and makes your dreams come to you easier. So here are some quotes by Michael on the importance of creativity. Without dreams, there is no creativity. The creative impulse comes from discontent, a divine discontentment that seeks to change, transform, and fill the world with more magic. My priority in life is to make a difference, step on uncharted territory, and leave a fingerprint. I believe in wishes, and in a person's ability to make a wish come true. And a wish is more than a wish. It is a goal that your subconscious can help make a reality. Whenever I saw a sunset, I would quietly make my wish right there before the sun tucked under the western horizon and disappeared. It would seem as if the sun had taken my wish with it. I'd make it right before that last speck of light vanished. I am just curious about all things, the simplest things, and about what's in a drop of water. I wanted to read about eyelashes one time, and found a whole colony of living things live in our eyelashes. To me, that's amazing. Everything to me is interesting, especially if you start studying the universe and all that. It is just a phenomenal amount of information, and I am just astounded by it. It makes me feel ignorant about how much I don't know. The more I find out, the more ignorant I feel. I really do. I realize there is so much to learn. That's why bookstores amaze me. I can spend hours and hours grabbing books, and I come back with boxes of stuff. Now, my favorite quote from Michael is actually affirmations that he wrote when scripting before the Thriller album came out, a few years before, I believe. I think it's so incredible to see that what he wrote really came true, and it just reinforces again the importance of affirming yourself and believing in your vision. And not only that, but pursuing through action to really pull down your dream into the physical reality. So, enjoy this quote as this video drifts to a close and dream big tonight. MJ will be my new name. No more Michael Jackson. I want a whole new character, a whole new look. I should be a totally different person. People should never think of me as the kid who sang ABC's I Want You Back. I shall be a new, incredible actor, singer, dancer that will shock the world. I will do no interviews. I will be magic. I will be a perfectionist, a researcher, a trainer, a master. I will be better than every great actor roped into one. I must have the most incredible training system to dig and dig and dig. I will study and look back on the whole world of entertainment and perfect it, take it steps further from where the greats left off.